एवरीबॉडी। आज के इस वीडियो में मैं आपके साथ डिस्कस करने वाली हूँ इंडिगो के रीसेंट ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट के क्वेश्चंस जो भी मेरे साथ कैंडिडेट्स ने शेयर किए हैं, वो सारे क्वेश्चंस और उनके सैम्पल आंसर्स इस वीडियो में मैं आपके साथ डिस्कस करने वाली हूँ। एवरीबडी इज़ गेटिंग अ डिफरेंट सेट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, बट एक या दो या तीन सिमिलर क्वेश्चन सबको आ रहे हैं. So it will be a good idea for you to refer to these videos so you know what to answer or how you can answer, because spontaneously आपको जवाब देना होता है ये सारे questions का, and obviously you do not have time and you need to think on the spot. So जब आप मेरे या किसी के भी वीडियो सुनते हो या क्वेश्चन नोट डाउन करते हो तो यू विल गेट अ हैंग ऑफ आंसरिंग दीज क्वेश्चन स्पॉन्टेनियसली, चाहे वो कोई भी क्वेश्चन हो. Once you start answering these questions or listening to other people's answers, you will understand the context कि आप किस वे में जवाब दे सकते हो एंड आप ब्लैंक आउट नहीं होगे जब आप असेसमेंट दे रहे होगे. ठीक है, तो द आइडिया बिहाइंड डिस्कसिंग दीज क्वेश्चंस विद यू एंड द सैम्पल आंसर्स इज जस्ट दैट कि ऑन द स्पॉट अगर आपको कोई भी क्वेश्चन दिया जाए तो आप आराम से जवाब दे सको कॉन्फिडेंटली. ठीक है, तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं. मेरा नाम है रचना. वेलकम टू माई चैनल. Okay, so the first question is, what advice would you give to someone who's moving to India? Well, if I had to answer this question, I would say that congratulations on moving to one of the most diverse lands in the universe. And no matter how chaotic it may sound or seem like at the beginning, because of our population and our different diverse cultures that we have, I have to tell you that in spite of all the chaos and all the confusion, we still stand very, very united with each other, because we are a country that celebrates being diverse. We are a country that celebrates or stands for unity, irrespective of which religion, caste, or color you belong to. So I would like to say congratulations that you are one of those lucky people to be experiencing a land of such diversity in this world. Next question is, how do you demonstrate resilience after recent setbacks? Well, I believe in being consistent. I believe that you do not fail until the day you give up by yourself. So I believe that in life there can be many setbacks, but all you've got to do is be consistent in what you want to achieve. Keep that constant in your life. Keep that aim constant in your life. And you will only fail when you decide in yourself that you've given up. So that is the only thing that motivates me, or I keep myself motivated with that thought. And that's how I show my resilience during setbacks. Next question is, which digital branding strategy do you recommend for business professionals? Well, if I had to answer this question, I would say I would recommend business professionals to get into the field of digital marketing and to market their own product. I believe that somebody who is a creator of a certain product is best to tell or describe about their product by their own self, because they are somebody who has worked day in and day out towards creating it. So I believe that somebody who's a business professional should get into the field of digital marketing and market their product themselves before handing it out to any influencer or handing it out to any branding companies. Question is, what do you know about the airline? Guys, Indigo के बारे में आपको पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा अगर आप Indigo का इंटरव्यू देने जा रहे हैं. अगर इस टाइम पे जब आप ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट दे रहे हो आपको ज़्यादा पॉइंट्स याद नहीं आ रहे, टॉक अबाउट विमेन एम्पावरमेंट. ओके, टॉक अबाउट इंडिगो बीइंग द ओनली एयरलाइन विच अलाउज ओनली all female cabin crew workforce in India at the moment. And read about Indigo before you go for this assessment as well. Next question is, if you had an unlimited budget, how would you spend it? Well, if I had an unlimited budget, I would do two things. One is make or construct a school and make sure that every child is educated, because I believe that it is everybody's right to receive basic education. And the second thing that I would do is maybe construct a hospital, because I believe that everybody should get free medical treatment. So I believe if children are educated, there will be less poverty in the world. And I also believe that if people are treated properly, people get the right medical attention that they need, then I believe that there'll be less people who will be suffering in this world. Of course, if I have a budget which is unlimited, I would love to do these two things. Next question is, what do you prefer, OTT or TV? Well, if I may say, I would choose TV because I'm a bit old school. I like the whole idea of everybody gathering together, and just like during our childhood, on evenings, especially during weekends, all the family members would gather in the hall and we would all sit and watch a movie together, and it would be a good family bonding time as well. So that is something that I would like to choose, and that's why if somebody asks me for my preference, I would still go for TV. Next question is, talk about your favorite destination and why do you want to travel there? Well, I would like to travel to Johannesburg in South Africa. That was one of my first destinations when I started flying as a cabin crew. The reason why I want to go there again is because the last time I went there, I visited or I went for a safari, and that was the first time ever I saw lions up so close to me, and I also saw their little cubs. I had a chance to play with them. It was a one of a kind of experience, and that's why I would like to go to Johannesburg again. Next question, how will you balance your work life? Well, I think with effective time management, one can balance their work life or their personal life, and managing my time, being punctual, completing my tasks, listing down my tasks, being organized will help me manage my work life. And that's how I believe I'll be able to manage my work life. Next question. If you get a chance to join politics, what would you change? Well, if I get a chance to join politics or be in any of the political parties, I would like to change the reservation system. I would like to abolish the reservation system because I believe that every human being is equal in the eyes of law and should be equal in the eyes of law. And with reservation, we are not actually doing anything better. We are just making things or going towards the worst side one can think of. And that's one thing that I would like to abolish if I become a politician. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, अपना दिनचर्या बताइए. तो हिंदी में अगर सवाल है तो आपको जवाब हिंदी में देना है, एंड कोशिश कीजिए जितना या पूरा ही जवाब अगर आप हिंदी में दे सकते हैं, इंग्लिश का एक शब्द का प्रयोग करें बगैर भी, तो वही आप करिए, बिकॉज क्योंकि ज़रूरी है कि पूरा जवाब आपका हिंदी में हो. तो अगर मैं अपनी दिनचर्या की बात करूं तो मेरी दिन की शुरुआत होती है सुबह एक कप कॉफ़ी के साथ, और मैं पूरे दिन कोशिश करती हूँ कि मैं पौष्टिक खाना खाऊं. तो मैं अपना खाना खुद ही बनाती हूँ. उसके बाद मैं अपने घर के कुछ काम निपटाती हूँ, थोड़ा बहुत यूट्यूब का काम भी करती हूँ, कुछ लोगों की मैं मदद भी करती हूँ जिनको कैबिन क्रू की नौकरी के बारे में कुछ जानकारी हासिल करनी होती है, तो उन्हें मैं जवाब देती हूँ. उनके जो भी सवाल होते हैं, प्रश्न होते हैं, उनके जवाब देने की कोशिश करती हूँ, और मेरा पूरा दिन यही सब कार्यों में चला जाता है. Next question is, why friendship is important in your life? Well, if I had to answer this question, I would say I believe that friendship is important for me because I think the only relationship that does not have a reason why they are with you or why a friend is with you, it is just there, it exists because they want to be with you, or your friend shares a certain bond with you, is what this relationship defines itself as. And that's why that very essence is what I think is very important for me, because they don't judge you, your friends never judge you, your people who treat you, who stand for you, who have your back all the time through thick and thin, is what I think everybody would want in their life. And that's why I also believe that friendship is important because of these reasons for me. Next question is, what would life be without friends or without social media? Well, without friends, it would be very, very difficult, because I think interacting with people who are your people, who don't judge you for what you are or who you are, is very important. So life would be really sad if one did not have friends. But I come from a generation that did not have social media while growing up. So if social media is not there, I think we still be able to manage. So I don't believe life would be sad without social media. However, with friends, yes, I truly believe that I don't think it would be a good life. Next question is, when were you proud of yourself? Well, there was a point in time in my life where I was very indecisive in almost everything. For me to take decisions about my life, for me to come to a conclusion to any given topic used to be very, very difficult. However, I worked on myself and I came to this conclusion that I need to decide things. I need to take things about my life in my hands. I need to take control of the decisions that I make, and everything I get into should have a fruitful outcome, or I should at least reach towards conclusion or to the end of a certain topic. And I started working towards it, and that day I was very proud of myself. And today I make sure that no matter what topic I get into, I make sure that I try my best at least to go towards the conclusion of the topic. That's something that I feel very proud of. Next question is, do you think India should have a national language? Well, in my most honest opinion, I think India should not have a national language. We are a land of diversity. We are a land that is an example and should celebrate our diversity all around the world, because I think we are the only country that has such a diverse culture and so many different kind of people living in, and that is the best thing that we can set an example in the world. So why restrict ourselves to just one language when we have so many? And that's why I don't think that we should have a national language. I think we have a lot of languages, and that's something extraordinary in itself. Next question, how can AI harm someone's privacy? Well, I think storing data from people, gathering data from people, way that AI can hamper with your privacy. The reason I'm saying this is that whenever I'm using ChatGPT and asking ChatGPT certain questions, they store that data, and every time I have another question related to a similar topic and I go to them and I ask them the same question or another question, they always repeat what I had asked them before. That means all the data that we are putting in is being saved by them, and that I think can be a bit harmful in terms of privacy in future. Next question, talk about your best and worst shopping experience. Well, if I have to talk about my best and worst shopping experience, it could be just one and only destination, which is Sarojini Nagar in Delhi. So you will get the best of the best things there and the worst of the worst things also if you are not a keen observer. So you get some things at such low and cheap prices if you look for it consistently, and you are at your game of hunting and then buying the best product or looking for the best thing out of all the lot that is present there. And the other thing is sometimes you don't really understand what's happening, and you look at a particular garment and you think that it's all good, but when you come back home you see that probably it's not of the best quality that you thought it was when you were looking into the lot that was being produced to you there. So for most of you who've been to Sarojini Nagar, you would know that everything is available in bulk there, and all you have to do is keep looking for things. So my best shopping experience and worst has obviously happened there when I got certain clothes for just $100, and there were times when I paid 400, 500 only to come home and find out that the clothes were stained and they were not up to the mark. So yeah, that's about my best and worst shopping experience. Next question, define fear in your words. Well, fear, according to me, is a force that is stopping you from chasing your dreams, that is a force that is forcing you or stopping you from achieving your dreams. I think one needs to overcome fear in order to ensure that they are successful in life. Everybody can have different ideas of fear, but I believe that you're scared of a certain thing only because you want to achieve something big. So I feel it's a good thing as well to be fearful of a certain dream, and I also feel that it's important to overcome that force in order to be successful. And that, I believe, is my definition of fear. Next question, do you think a cabin crew's job is difficult? Well, I do not think any job in the world is easy. Having said that, I believe that a cabin crew's job is challenging, and I say that because it is a job that poses a lot of risks. It is a job that asks you to be highly responsible, highly adaptable, and flexible. And last but not the least, I would like to say, in spite of the fact that it is a challenging job, I would like to say that I love challenges and I would definitely like to take this one. Next question, advantage and disadvantage of working from home. Well, the advantage of working from home is that an employee saves time, saves the commuting time when they are not traveling to go to office. They are working from home, so they save their time. They can be a bit productive, a bit fresh minded when they start their work in the morning. And the disadvantage is that sometimes not communicating with your colleagues because you are not meeting them, you're just on video calls or on Zoom meetings, you communicate with them, it does get a bit difficult. You could have a misunderstanding if there is no effective communication or face to face communication, if I can put it right. So that I believe is a disadvantage. Question, आपके लिए अच्छा दिन क्या होता है? तो मैं अपने दिन की शुरुआत उस दिन में मुझे क्या क्या चीज़ें करनी है सारी चीज़ों को तय करके लिखती हूँ, एंड मेरे लिए वो दिन एक सफल दिन माना जाता है जब पूरा दिन ख़त्म होने के बाद मैं ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लिखी चीज़ों को ख़त्म कर पाऊँ. तो मेरे लिए एक अच्छा दिन वो दिन कहलाता है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, व्हाट वुड यू डू इफ़ एन इम्पॉर्टेंट प्रेजेंटेशन गोज रॉन्ग इन द मिडल? Well, if an important presentation goes wrong in the middle, I would first apologize to all the people who I'm presenting to, ask for forgiveness, ask for a bit of time to rephrase or to correct what was wrong, and then continue to make sure that the rest of the presentation does not have any errors. Also, I strongly believe that whatever starts on a wrong note does not necessarily need to end on a bad note. It's always good to apologize if you make a mistake. It's always good to correct yourself and move on with positivity. Next question, what is the most difficult situation you have recently faced? Well, in the most recent past that I faced is giving birth. So that was my most recent difficult situation because the contractions are quite intense and something that I had never experienced before. However, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel, and the light at the end of this tunnel was giving birth, having a baby. So it is all good. It was all in good faith, and I'm very happy that that difficult situation was something that I faced, or I had to face, or everybody faces, or every woman faces, to see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is their baby. So yeah, that was the most difficult situation that I faced in recent times. Next question, how will you deal with a situation where you have to give instructions to your senior? Well, as directed to me, I will give instructions or do my job that was directed to me of giving instructions to my senior or seniors, and I am sure they will understand that it is a job that I'm directed to do and I'm just doing that. And I'm sure it will be taken in a positive stride because the intent or my intent behind directing or giving instructions to anybody, be it a senior or a junior, is very clear. It is the directives that I am given to pass on forward, whether it's juniors or seniors, and I am doing just that. And yes, I will do it with full integrity and honesty, and I'm sure the seniors will understand it given the experience that they have. Next question, what will your friend do if they lost their phone? Well, if I talk about my closest friends, I think they are the most balanced people in this world, and the only thing that they would do is probably immediately go and buy a new phone and forget about the old one. They will forget about that phone even existed because they are the people who are the most relaxed and calm and patient people that I've come across. So yeah, my friends would just stay very calm and be highly unreactive of what happened. Next question. What according to you would be long-term consequences if AI would replace human jobs? Well, the long-term consequences of AI replacing human jobs would be companies not hiring enough manpower, which would mean that employees would not be there or human jobs would not exist, and that could create a bit of an imbalance when it comes to jobless people. Well, next question is, what do you think about women empowerment? Well, if I had to answer this question, I would say, being a woman, I am a strong supporter of women empowerment. By this, I mean to say, I do not want extra perks of being a woman. All I want is equality. All I want is equal status. All I want is fair pay, no gender discrimination, and somebody who is respected the way they should be respected, not because they are a woman, but because they are human too. And that is what I mean, and that is what I think of women empowerment. Next question. What digital well being habits do you usually follow? Well, something that I follow usually is I make sure that I keep a tab on my screen time. I do not regularly watch the screen. I make sure that there is a break in between every time. I get addicted or I'm constantly watching, my phone prompts me not to. So I have a screen time prompt that is always popping up on my screen when I exceed it. And the next thing that I do is I try not to see or check my phone the first thing in the morning or the last thing before I go to bed. These are some of the digital well-being habits that I'm trying to inculcate in myself these days. Next, one food item you buy regularly from local shops. Well, I would say that I love fruits, and since childhood, this one thing has always stayed with me, eating one fruit a day. So, one thing that I buy locally and from local shops all the time, almost every time I go to any of the shops to buy groceries, is at least one fruit. That's one go to thing that I always buy. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. कौन सी शिक्षा आज के समय में सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है? मेरे हिसाब से सबसे महत्वपूर्ण शिक्षा आत्मनिर्भर होना है आज के समय में, क्योंकि आजकल ज़िंदगी इतनी जल्दी और तेज़ी से आगे जा रही है कि ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आपके परिवार वाले, आपके दोस्त कभी भी आपके साथ या हर वक्त आपके साथ रह पाएंगे. तो खुद निर्भर अपने आप पे होना, अपने आप के बारे में, अपने आप के लिए चीज़ें करना, खुद के लिए जिम्मेदारी लेना बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है आज के टाइम पे, आज के समय में, और वो मेरे हिसाब से सबसे महत्वपूर्ण शिक्षा है. आज के इस वीडियो में बस इतना ही. आपने ये सारे क्वेश्चंस के जो सैम्पल आंसर्स एक एक सेंटेंसेस के सुने थे, आपको एक आइडिया तो मिल गया होगा कि आपके जवाब कैसे होने चाहिए. ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आपके लंबे लंबे जवाब हो, ठीक है. आपको टाइमर दिया जाएगा, ठीक है, बट ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आपको बहुत लंबे लंबे जवाब देने हैं. Make sure whatever you say, it does not have to have the best context, but remember, have good grammatical skills when you answer, even if it is just 2 sentences. I hope I have helped you understand the context of answering all these questions in your next online assessment. I hope it will be helpful for you. आज के इस वीडियो में बस इतना ही. फॉर मोर फ्यूचर कैबिन क्रू इंटरव्यूज एंड जॉब रिलेटेड कंटेंट के लिए स्टे ट्यून्ड. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर योर टाइम. अगर आपने कोई भी ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट या आपको कोई क्वेरी है किसी भी एयरलाइन के इंटरव्यू प्रोसेस से, तो फील फ्री टू राइट दैट टू मी इन द कमेंट सेक्शन टू. एंड अगर मुझे उसके बारे में कोई जवाब पता होगा, उसका जवाब पता होगा, तो आई विल रिप्लाई टू यू either in the form of a video or in the form of a comment. Thank you again. Goodbye.